we really come down to this? Come along as we take a little ride. Well, good morning. Yeah, some nice cars back there. We had a good time this last night, yesterday. So many neat people to meet, so many different people to talk to, different cars to look at, and not your average everyday cars. We're getting ready to do a little bit of a trip out here, trying to get the Daisy, the Fairlane, which is cool. She's always been real well accepted, a lot more than I thought. But time to go through, time to go through, check the points, check the belts, check the fluids. She's leaking a little bit of fluid. She'll make it home. Get it ready, get done. I think it's 1,137 miles is what it looks like. So it's a little shorter than our other trip, because we detoured a little bit to see some other people for that one. It was 1,159, so not very much shorter. Depends on what hotel we stay at tonight, all that good stuff, how far I actually drive. We did the trip down in, I think it was 3 days, basically 3 days. We're doing the trip back in 2. Then I got to turn around and drive back to Louisiana for work for 3 weeks. Then I can come back and work on cars and work on the house, visit the family. That's times I live for, times I really love. But we're getting more going this morning. Hope you come along with us. Well, here we are. We're in the middle of Alabama. I think we're at like exit 93, I think it is. Certain aspects of the trip home are going good, certain aspects aren't. As you can see, the cars here. What we're having issues with is the power steering. I probably should have recorded this earlier, but I was low on battery on the phone, in a hurry, it was hot, yada yada yada. But what's going on is you actually have a control valve that, as you take and move the little ball sector on it, it actually goes through and activates a cylinder that pushes or pulls to move your power steering. That's your assist for your power steering. Well, on the control valve, the little ball and sector piece right there, it's leaking like bad. Like the last time I had full power steering where there was still enough fluid in the system to really do any good, it lasted like 20 miles. So when it finally gets really, really bad, I ended up pulling off again when we found another Love's and add some more fluid. But basically what we're looking at this point is we're gonna go through, hopefully make it to Mississippi, maybe Louisiana, but hopefully Mississippi, find a hotel, wake up the next morning. I've got a friend in Mississippi that I work with, and I'm going to take and try to disconnect the push-pull cylinder. I'm going to crimp off the hoses and pull the belt on the power steering pump, and that'll basically put it back to manual steering, which It's not the safest at this point, but it's safer than what we're trying to do right now. And part of what that will do, we've done it before on the Mustang. You're not fighting against that push-pull cylinder. You've gotten it totally out of the way, so it's not hanging somewhere where that you can't get rid of it. And that should be able to get us home. Once we get home, we'll see what we can do from there. I kind of kick myself. I have the manual steering adapter piece sitting in the 67 Fastback. Actually picked it up, looked at it, said, should I take this with me? No, I put it back in the car. Guess what I need? It's in the car. Anyways, that's where we're at. We still got a couple hours to go before we are totally into Mississippi. Hopefully we get over near Gulfport area. But that's the update. Okay, lighting's not good here, but this right here is my control valve. You can see over there, right there, there's a ram. I've got to go through, disconnect the ram, take it off the steering arm, because that control arm, where the pitman arm connects to the sector and ball to give the assist for the power steering, it is leaking like a storm. I mean, it pours out of there at this point. The thing is, as you move it one way or the other, that ball and sector, that's what gives that little ram marching orders. Well, my problem is you hit a bump in the road and the tires are trying to turn, and it's also giving signals too. And sometimes the ram's working and sometimes it's not. I had a couple times last night I was turning one way and the ram was trying to push the other way because the ball and sector was telling it to go the other way. So we're going to take the ram off, take it off the actual steering drag link there, do something with the hoses so that they're done. Take the hose off of the power steering pump and run manual. I know I can do this because my Mustang's actually set up like that from a previous owner. We're going to fix it right, but that will give you a bit of an idea. And here we are again. And as you can see all through here, I've been pouring that transmission fluid in over the last, I don't know, a couple hundred miles, but it finally got too bad last night. So we found a hotel room. Things still running good though. You can see what we picked up. I've already got the nut, which you can see right there, off the ram. Need a little bit of cleanup stuff. I'm gonna try the tie rod separator first. If that one works, then I'm gonna take this one back, or I might keep it. I lost mine, so already purchased them, but we'll knock those off and see what happens. And just like that, steering ram's out. We went through and pulled that out, pulled the belt off. We'll see if we make it home. Again, to the folks from Advanced Auto Parts, the Saraland, I think is how they call it, Alabama, 3249, I think is what she said, the store, 3229, something like that. But really nice folks. I really appreciate the help. There's Judah. We decided to stop at this rest area. Real pretty. A little lake over here we're gonna go do a little clip of too. Just came across the bridge for the Pascagoula River on I-10. Oh man, every time you hit one of those expansion joints, that car wants to steer. My shoulder was already hurting by the time we got here. Huh. So we'll see. Car's still looking pretty. Take a minute, catch my breath, hit the road again. we're thinking about jumping on the to US 190 once we get into Louisiana and go a little bit slower roads, but we'll see. That may be good, that may be bad. Looking down on a little river and pond over here, or lake. Ah, there went some turtles. It's nice out here. Alright, so we had a plan. Decided to stop off at a friend's house, drop the car there, get a rental car out of Gulfport, Mississippi, drive home. I'd grab the part that I needed, go back to my friend's house, drop off the rental car, fix the car, and then go to where I work. All good and everything, except for there are no rental cars available in southern Mississippi, and that I could find in the New Orleans, Slidell area of Louisiana. So kind of put a grip at things. So we kept going. Get to Baton Rouge, and the rain starts hitting. But we noticed that the bands of rain are not hitting hard on US 190. So instead of continuing on I-10, we kick up to US Highway 190 and are cruising along. Everything's going good, and then, yes. The worst thing is, it ate all the way through the steel belts. Oh well. Thankfully, we had roadside assistance through Hagerty, and I'm waiting on a tow truck to get here, take us to a Walmart tire care center down the road in Jennings. But they're not going to get there until after that place closes, so that means we're spending the night in Jennings tonight. So it's going to be a time crunch when I finally get home, because I'm supposed to drive out tomorrow for Louisiana, where I'm actually at right now, so that I can go get on a boat Wednesday morning. So we'll see what happens. It's all good though. It's been a wonderful trip. It's been a beautiful trip. And even with the problems, I can't complain, because it did run good. Even with the hiccups with the fuel, even with the power steering, I enjoyed this trip. Sometimes you just have to say, heck, it's good. Back to Texas so far. We're in Jasper getting some gas. Man, we hit that border and it was instantaneous, the difference. We went from bumpity bump over any bit of the road, including just white knuckle holding on whenever we hit an overpass or a bridge with cement or expansion joints, to just smooth. We went from being able to do 55 to being able to with kind of white knuckle and do 60 here without even looking either way. It'll be good to get home, get that control valve with that messed up ball and sector repaired. I'm gonna convert it over to manual steering for a little while until that's done, but we're still on our way. And we made it. Kids happy, playing with their ducks, their chickens. Maddie's here. The car's here. Wow, we've put over 2,500 miles on this car in the last 11 days. And it had been sitting for 2 years unused. Sure, we had issues. Sure, there's stuff to repair. But we made it. Just drive it.